Hello and welcome to my MTG Arena video. In this one we will take on a draft, and before I actually recorded this before and it was kinda messy because we had not a lot of time to explain all the cards. So I'm just going to start over here in the client. Basically in Magic you don't have your mana system in your sidebar, instead you have your lands in your deck, and that 5 different colors: white, blue, black, red and green. And each of the cards has its cost up here in the top right. Look at this card in the top right. It says it costs 3 and a white. So you need 1 white mana and 3 others to cast this guy. It has a attack and toughness. I assume people who watch know Legends of Terror, so I will base it a little bit on that. Also has subtypes like Poros, this one's a Fox Samurai. And then when it enters the battlefield, the summon effect or dies is a last breath. Put a starting counter on target creature. Units or followers are called creatures or vehicles. And a bit different types. You have the just normal creatures, if you saw. Sorceries are similar to slow spells, and the instants are similar to fast spells, so you can cast them in combat. There are no burst spells, everything goes on the stack, same with abilities. Now the biggest difference with the creatures is that they actually have activated abilities. For example, this one can tap a creature. So if you attack, the unit gets tapped, or if you use it as an effect, gets tapped. Tapped units are basically deactivated for the turn, and then the next turn they get to untap again, like refilling your mana crystals. This is interesting because you can sometimes attack in or don't attack in, depending on what your deck is, what your draft is. And a little bit of a different combat system because you can't just like attack all the time. But also the units have regeneration basically. They all regain their life points at the end of the turn, and you can block a single unit with multiple different units. It's a little bit confusing, but we will get into it. And then there's landmarks. So basically artifacts and enchantments are similar to landmarks, that they sit around, have some effect. For example, this one, you can pay 2 mana and sacrifice it, so destroy it to draw 2 cards. So you play it out for 2, and you pay 2 in a later turn to draw 2 cards. You can also discard it from your hand to draw 1 card. And these enchantments are called Sagas, and they are similar to countdown landmarks. They start with 1 counter immediately, and whenever you get a counter, you get an effect. For example, this one says on turn 1, draw a card, discard a card. Turn 2, draw a card, discard a card. Then turn 3, it transforms into this 2/3 flying, which is basically still an enchantment, but also flies. Flying is the equivalent of elusive in this game. And vehicles, funnily enough, I didn't actually pick up any vehicles. So let's switch over here. Vehicles are basically landmarks that can turn into creatures with other creatures. So let's find one. So this set is quite complicated. It might not be the best set to get into it, but I want to do a limited draft. So I'm going to just showcase, for example, this one, 2 mana, 2/2, flash flying. Flash means that you can play the unit in your opponent's turn as a reaction to opponent, and you have to pay crew 1, so you have to have another unit on the board. Then that unit can crew this vehicle, and it turns into a creature. Before it's just a landmark doing nothing, and then this landmark turns into a 2/2. And similarly, you have items or equipments. So this one is like a kunai, and an equipment just lies around like a landmark, but you can actually pay its equip cost to move it to a creature, and that will leave this creature equipped and means that it gets a special effect. For example, this one can throw the kunai, deal 3 damage to anything. So these are like the basic card types. You also have planeswalkers, which are like legendary landmarks that can be attacked. This one starts with 5, and you can directly attack it instead of the player, and it goes down. But it also has like 3 different abilities. You can use 1 per turn basically. And yeah, it's a little bit complicated. In general, the power level is very different because the legendary and rare cards are usually much stronger than the common cards. And for the general draft format, you just go play versus you draft with real people, and they just open up. Each player opens up one of these booster packs, 3 in total, and starts with 15 cards. Then the pack goes around and you pick cards out of them. So let's just get started with our first draft. See you in there. I will still continue explaining Don't worry if you didn't actually catch everything. I will try to highlight the good cards. I'm not a professional MTG draft or anything, but I still want to show you how this would look like. So, see you in the draft. Draft table has been found, and 8 different people are assembling here. You can see them here. And basically, each one of us opens a pack. You have a limited amount of time. And we're actually lucky enough to open one of the very good cards. Ninjutsu is something I didn't explain yet. Basically, if your creature is unblocked, you can swap it with this from your hand. So you take your own creature back into your hand that's unblocked, and you put this onto the battlefield. And it has like a fancy effect. There's a menace counter. Menace means it has to be double blocked by 2 creatures. But you can remove that counter on Nexus Strike and then discard a card from the hand. So clearly the best card here. In general, if you approach a new format, just do the vanilla test. 3 mana 3/3 with an extra effect. Already very good. Over here, 2 mana 2/1 with the same ninjutsu effect. And deals combat damage to a player. Nexus Strike. You may discard a creature card when you do destroy target creature or planeswalker that player controls. Pretty good. Also pretty good. 3 mana 2/2 flying. Flying similar to elusive. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card if a creature died this turn, or each player sacrifices a creature. Sacrifice is like killing, but the player has to choose itself. This one is an enchantment, and this is like an item. It attaches to a creature and would destroy one. Here we have another one. This is like a landmark that captures a creature basically. So a 3 mana landmark captures a creature, and when it leaves the battlefield, it comes back. But you can also discard it from your hand to have like the Chronicle of Ruin effect. You exile a creature and put it back into play afterwards at the end step. Flickers out is what it's called. Very good card. Then we have like the weird shrines. These are like very various shrines in different colors that go together and have like a more powerful effect. Very good. We have Kaito over here, 4 mana 3/3 trample. And some random creatures. You see the comments are much more easy to understand. 2 mana 2/1, 1 mana 1/1 flying or elusive. Of course, this one would be pretty good with the ninjutsu cards. Because they have this 4 mana 6 mana 5/5 that can jump into battle, swap with an unblocked creature for 4. And Time is Completion is just a very good removal spell as well. But this is probably just the strongest card out of this pack. So I'm just going to pick it up. Again, Landmark captures a unit. Or an artifact even. So pretty strong. Unfortunately, we don't see any black cards here. Generally, just want to stay open and look what gets passed around. You see another Saga here. And this one, count on first one. You get to play an additional land. Basically an extra mana crystal. Then you gain some life. And then it turns into a 2 mana 3/3. Seems decent. And as a battlefield, if enchanted permanent is a creature with greatest power, draw a card. This is just like a weird buff card. Unplayable. This is counter target spell, so you basically deny, but you can deny creatures as well. And I think I'm just going to take this one black card in the pack. None of these cards seem very appealing. This one's a 2/2, that when it attacks, it gets +2/+0, but you can actually equip it as an item. It's on the battlefield and you pay 2. You can equip it to another creature as an item. And that's pretty good. I don't see any other cards I really want to be running here. That's a very weak pack overall. And yeah, let's see what shows up here in the future. A bunch of green cards. This is basically a boomerang blade where you can vary the cost. For 4 mana, your unit strikes 1 thing. For 6 mana, it strikes 2 things. And this is a very good card as well. Just another arrest effect or enchanted permanent. You basically put it like an item, but it's a negative item. You grant a creature can't block or attack or accrue vehicles. Very good removal spell. And we also have this gigantic crab, 7 mana 5/7 with ward 3. So ward is like semi-hexproof or space shield, where you have to pay extra cost. However, you can also discard it from your hand to counter target spell or ability. 5 mana 3/5 channel, tap to target creatures. And this is 2 mana -2/-2. And this 2/-2 is similar to 2 damage, but a little bit different. Like the details are hard to explain. I also have this guy, it's pretty good. I'm going to take this removal spell. So 2 good removal spells and black cards. We don't see any black cards going around, so we might just not be in black. A little bit how you have to adapt. And like the white cards, you have this guy, 3 mana 3/2 flying, but it's just an artifact vehicle. So you have to tap one of your creatures to crew it. A tap creature can't attack. So on 1 mana, put +1/+1 counter on target vehicle, or you turn target permanent you control to your hand. So like basically a recall effect, or +1/+1, not very strong. See a lot of good cards here. Talked about the crab before. Also the Modern Age is quite nice with these recall effects. And this one, enchant creature, gets -3/-0 and loses flying, basically an exhaust effect. We'll just take the Modern Age. Probably, like, I'm not a very good expert on this draft format yet. Just drafted it for the second time right now. This card seems good, draws you some cards, discards, and then turns into a 2/3. This card is interesting, 8 mana, 8/8, trample is overwhelm, and it has hexproof as long as it's untapped, so basically an unbreakable spell shield, and it costs less for each modified creature you control. Modified, another keyword. If you put an item card, either an enchantment aura or an equipment onto a creature, or put a counter on it, this guy is modified because there's a counter on it, then it has this modified trait. You also have Essence Capture, counter target creature spell, and put a counter on target creature. This guy also seems good. Actually not sure what the correct pick is here. I'm just going to stick with the blue card, because I'm kind of running out of time trying to explain all of these cards. I'm a little bit open, not sure what to do here. Now we see a ton of black cards. 3 mana, target opponent exiles a creature they control, so the opponent gets to choose, build a creature. Puzzle Maker is quite nice, 3 mana 1/4 flying, and when it becomes tapped, so if it attacks or gets tapped another way, you scry one, you are already dead. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn and draw a card. 4 mana 3/4, and it enters the battlefield, you control an artifact and enchantment, draw a card. Actually like this guy as well, but I think blue is more open, so let's take the blue card here and just see where we end up in the end. A lot of 3-drops here, but those are not really 3-drops, those are more removal spells. And I tend to just sort my spells. Another one, you can actually sort your cards in this game mode, which is pretty fun. Either like, didn't really see that much black yet, but we will have to figure out. So blue-black would be the ninja stuff. You have these flying creatures, elusive creatures, and you swap them out with ninjas if they are blocked. Blue-white, I'm actually not sure about what this is. Maybe some flyers or vehicles. This is very good. A Moth Rider Patrol, just a 1/1. Also see a very late Towashi Song Shaper. This card is very, very good. In my experience of watching my streams or watching streams from other people, 2 mana 2/2, whenever an artifact, like this guy is an artifact, enters the battlefield under your control, gets +1/+1. And in order to take the Moth Rider Patrol, seems like the strongest card here. I don't want to fully go into another color as well. It's okay to stay open and just see what sticks around. Destroy an artifact, as long as it can counter. Kind of Industry is playable. 5 mana 3/6, and you revive an artifact with 3 or less, but it sacrifices at the end step. This card has effects. Stoppable Ogre going around, a lot of red cards now. We're just going to take the Barons here, like a land. Basically normal lands just tap for 1, but this can give you either white or black. But it enters tap, so you can't use it the turn you play it. Not really sure what's going on in this draft. Seems like a little bit of random cards being passed around. Didn't quite find my lane yet. Now I'm seeing a lot of red. And now we see like a very good green card in late and a good red card. Not sure what's going on here. Little Brute Suit, just a vehicle that's kind of always be in the deck. I think I'm going to just take that. Seems not terrible. 3 mana 4/3, but you have to tap a creature to crew it. Now creatures you can get +2/+0. And this card is not terrible. Basically draws you a card and gives it fleeting. You mention it, and then you can sacrifice it to draw another card, give it fleeting. Just going to cut the white card here. Hopefully not play this. And wow, this is such a big sign. The Song Shaper going around. Does have a you are already dead. Can't, like, this is just the basically most powerful card here. And I'm going to take this up. So I'm really not sure which direction we're going yet. We have very good black card, very good white cards, some blue cards. That's not necessary at all. Short Circuit, Automated Artificer. I guess this is a decent playable card all the time. And Synthesizer going around. And a basic land. And for our next one, we open a Reckoner Bankbuster. This seems like a really solid card. Much of text. We also have a Behold the Unspeakable. This is probably just one of the strongest cards in the set in general. Reality Heist, Thomas Blade. Looking through the cards to see if there's anything more. I think it's between this one and the Behold the Unspeakable. And this card is insane. So a landmark for 5. And first of all, the opponent's creatures just get -2, -0, and basically opponent can't attack you. Then if you have one of your cards in hand, draw 4, otherwise scry 2 and draw 2. Then it transforms into this gigantic, elusive, overwhelm guy. Gets extra stuff. So this guy is interesting, 2 mana 4/4 with crew 3. And you can basically, it starts with 3 counters, and then you get to draw a card and remove a counter. And once you have removed all counters, it gets its pilot. And I'm just going to try this out. Maybe do some stuff with equipments. No matter which deck we end up in, which colors, the Bankbuster will be in the deck and will have, it's just colorless, so you don't need specific mana costs. And let's just play it safe and see which cards actually stick. Opponent took the rare out of this pack, so not sure what this is. All creatures get -2, -2 on this end of turn. If a creature would die, exile it instead. Those effects have historically not been very good. So if this guy costs 1 less for each enchantment you control, we are not really doing the enchantment thing right now. And I'm just not getting any clear signals, not any cards that are really, really strong. Sunblade Samurai is decent, 5 mana 4 for Vigilance, which means it can attack and block, doesn't get tapped, and you can discard it to search for a basic land. This guy is okay. Gives you some mana, 1/4. This is okay. Really not sure, I'm just taking the Samurai here. We have these removal spells, and now we see no red cards. Futurist Operative, 4 mana 3/4. As long as it's tapped, it's a citizen, 1/1, can't be blocked. You can sneak it in as a 1/1, and then you can untap him and return him into a 4/4. This card is very good from my experience. 4 mana 2/2 that returns up to 1 creature to its owner's hand. And you have minutes as well, so you can just jump it in combat. And yeah, this is probably the best card in the pack. So let's take this one. Still not really sure. Like normally you just have a good direction after the first few picks, or the first pack at least. But this one's just very weird. 3 mana 3/2 Vigilance. When the Samurai Warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast an enchantment card. Again, we're not doing the enchantment thing. Virus Beetle is decent, 2 mana 1/1, and when it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Bashi Guidebot enters the battlefield with a counter on target creature, draw a card. Some red cards in here. I'm really not sure. I'm tending to be white blue maybe, but really weird. I'm just going to take the Mentor because like probably my white card is the strongest right now. This is kind of decent. You see a late fall of Conda. This is also quite good. A 3 mana exile target creature and opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater, so just an expensive guy. And this is actually power 4 or greater, so this is just better. And later on you get this 1/3 defender that just opponent doesn't want to kill. I definitely think white is open. We have to decide between like blue and red and everything else. Let's get our white cards back into the deck and just see where we go from this point. We have a bunch of good removal spells. We need some more early game. And now we see a Tamiyo's Completion, just more removal. Always something I like to have. 4 mana, basically you put it on a creature and this creature doesn't untap anymore. Just like freezes the creature basically and shackles it. It's not a card that's playable. Yeah, I'm just going to keep taking removal spells. Probably black's not happening and red's not happening. Another good land here for us, the white-blue land. Katana is decent, just a random equipment. This is like an item you can put on creatures. 2 mana 2/2 that can crew creatures. And 1 is Intervention, another good removal spell. I'm a really big fan of removal spells. So let's just take that one. 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Can just save you in many situations. And here, not really a good card for us. No blue or white cards. We have like a white-green land. Vaporgraph Decoy is quite nice. 2 mana 2/1. Playable at least. So let's take this one. We have a bunch of artifacts. And yeah, we have to see. Tap an untapped artifact or pay 1, counter target spell. Costs 1 less for each artifact. Look at the top 7 cards and you reveal out to 2 artifacts. Put them into your hand. Skyscraper. I'm going to try out this Skyscraper guy, maybe. Yeah, let's pick this one up. I've heard that this is good. We have another artifact creature over here. Suit up, 3 mana. Target creature becomes an artifact, or target creature vehicle becomes an artifact for 5. And yeah, cycles. Already have one of these brute guys. And yeah, it seems like blue-white is definitely a good direction to go. We see some cards here. Another 7-tail mentor. Light the way, light card. And we still have one more pack to go. We are doing decent. We don't have like the insane power level yet. Maybe we can still get there. Yeah, we kind of have like a good stuff deck, or a medium stuff deck, removal spells. Not really a synergy deck, and I don't really know if there was any synergy for us to be getting here. But that's just how the colors have worked out for me this draft. Let's sort out our non-creature cards again. We have these two as removal. We have Essence Capture. We have the Suit Up as a combat trick. And Completion as another removal spell. And we have like 1/1 drop, 3 2-drops. This is also a removal spell. 3 3-drops. And a bunch of other stuff. 1 to drive. So enchanted permanent as a creature, you get +1/+1. Just take the big guys here. The 6 mana make 3 2/2s, and our blue-white land comes around. That's very good. Exactly what we wanted to see. Open a Scrap Welder, a red card. So that's not interesting for us. We see another Intercessor's Arrest. So another one we already have. It's like Shackles a creature. So if a Banishing Slash, 2 mana, destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or tapped creature. And then if you control an artifact enchantment, you create a 2/2 yourself. So 2 mana 2/2 that destroys something. This is a 2 mana 2/2 when Samurai Warrior attacks alone against lifelink. And we can sacrifice it to give it something indestructible. Indestructible is the same as Tariq's effect, basically. And another completion. I think I'm just going to go for the Banishing Slash here. Just more removal. We kind of want some card draw now. Like draw 3, discard 1. And some actual creatures. Invoke Despair. Very hard to cast, probably not something for us. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Repeat this for Enchantment and Planeswalker. So, doesn't seem too strong or very hard to cast. Return target creature, vehicle card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Naomi. 10 this battlefield attacks, you can roll Enchantment. It's a 2/2. This card actually seems really strong. Could just like splash it. You can go for 2 or 3 colors, you can even go for 4 colors, although that's a little bit sketchy oftentimes, but I think this card is very good in our deck. A bunch of artifacts and just summons multiple samurais over and over. It seems like it has value. And here, a 1-drop, that's pretty good. 1 mana 2/1 that can crew our vehicles. Another Essence Capture, removal basically. Varus Beetle would be playable. 2 mana 2/1. It is summoned, 1 discards a card. Just going to go for the 1-drop here. Make sure we have a good curve first of all. And we can now look to cut a little bit of cards. I would like to cut this Decoy, Root Suit maybe. And just have a little bit of a lower curve. Not sure if this Skyscraper is happening or not. Feels like a very strong card, but how many modified creatures we actually have is the question. And here we get a Tokuchi Silencer, which is also decent. 3 mana 3/3 Defender, and as a battlefield target player mills 3 cards, put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. Doesn't seem very strong. Tap an untapped creature or artifact, add 1, discard Moonsnare, opponent puts a card on top of its owner's library. This card is very strong. Just the lifesteal guy. No blue or white card I really like here. Death Touch, Menace. I'm going to take the lifesteal guy. I had good experience with this. Not sure how much black we actually are going to end up playing. This seems like a weird deck so far. When we were young, untap target creatures. And no, up to 2 target creatures at +2/+2. If we draw an artifact and enchantment, again lifelink as well. If I run a 1/1 again, flying. Guardians of Oboro, 3 mana 3/4. Modified creatures can attack us, so they don't have defender. Meh. I was going to take this. Let's take the Moth Rider Patrol first. Another Samurai is pretty good. We also have the Moonsacred Hacker now. For this guy, 3 mana 2/2 double strike with ninjutsu. They can just jump him in. Also have a good boy 2 mana 1/1 with draw a card. And with Samurai is good. So blue-white, blue-black seems decent, like a decent spot to be in. Going to take the Kitsune here. Double strike seems really strong with all of our removal. Already we are like pretty high on playable cards. And yeah. That's generally what I've noticed in this format. You generally just get enough cards to play. Taps alone, tap target creature. Just going to take another Samurai. This card is performing very well for me. Where did it go? Oh. And here, Trespasser, discard, tap target creatures. Seems like very weak. But still the only blue card we can actually take here. Another 2/2 artifact guy. Not a really high synergy, but individually good cards. Another fixing land if we wanted, or the Exemplar. I think our mana is fine. I just want to take up more early game creatures here, just to crew our vehicle, and just make sure our deck functions correctly. And then we can go cut some cards. Ooh, another Wondrous Intervention is very nice. It's all the removal spells. We didn't get any card draw or card advantage. A little bit of a problem. But take the one card in our colors. So might run out of cards if we get flooded or stuff, but we have a ton of good removal. Anything slash Fall of Condor. And yeah, in general, I really think this deck has potential. Definitely not the best deck I've ever drafted, but it can work out. And you don't have to play all the cards you draft. You can just select which ones you end up in your deck and which don't. Right now we have 29, so we want to go down to 23. And so let's see what our deck actually looks like. This a little bit weird thing is that it gets sorted together at the end, and you don't actually have to manually sort it again. You can type in here the creature. How do you do that? Code. So normally you can like sort this somehow. Don't know exactly how you do it. Aha, like this T creature. Now you have your creatures sorted and your non-creature cards. And the main question, first question I'm going to ask is, do we even need to play this blue? Just have a 2/2 Puzzle Maker, Moonsnare. Moonsnare is pretty good, but the rest of our blue cards is kinda meh. Let's see if we can just make this a purely black-white deck. Just have more consistent mana this way. Move this for now. And then we still have 23 cards, which is quite nice. So we don't actually have to play the blue. We can just play a good black-white deck. Let's see, Hotshot Mechanic is fine. 2/2 removal spells. That's we have a little bit low on 2-drops. This is something we can play on turn 2. But 3-drops are okay. This is kind of a 2-drop if you have like the early game units for it. And let's see if our Skyscraper, how many modified creatures do we actually have. Like this guy doesn't modify. We have like the Brute Suits. And this guy is modified. This makes modified creatures. But I don't really think that's going to happen here. Let's cut this Skyscraper and see what other good cards we can put into our deck for it. We have the Centipede, which is fine. Sumi, Blade Blesser, Artifact, F-Touch if you're an Artifact, Menace, so it has to be blocked by 2 things. Or I think I like the Centipede more. It just seems like a stronger card for us. I also would like to get rid of this Imperial Oath, but I really want to have something where if we just go 1 for 1, we just kill all of our opponent's creatures, and then we have this Imperial Oath to follow it up. That seems quite decent. We have our one fixing land. I think I'm just going to run this deck like it is. I don't want to spend half an hour in deck building. And if you count our mana sources, we can actually click on here as well to just see your mana sources, 17 to 4. So that's a very high amount of white cards. Also have this 2 Banishing Slash. But I don't want to go fully on white. Here you can add your lands afterwards. You don't actually have to draft them. I will just go for 9, 10. Let's do 11 to 6. Only have like 4 black cards in our deck actually. 6. And call it a deck here. Let's change our sleeve to something that's more fitting for our black and white. Black Lotus is one I like. And then go to the match, see if we can win some games with this deck or if it's just like not good. First match here versus Mina Tuka, and I'm still in bronze of course, like I don't really play this that much. Very good hand here, 3 lands and a curve. That's all you can basically ask for. And let's keep this. Our opponent is playing a real deck, it seems like. Sometimes when you play against these bronze people, just have like 50 card decks or something. And basically it's turn-based, each player gets to play 1 card each turn. And just like add a land each turn, and now we have 2 mana, here's 3 mana. So we are kinda equal right now. It's a slow spell, so you can't actually cast it yet. No reason to cycle this, I could just discard this for like a... And this guy is the one that gets like Death Touch, so Death Touch means if it kills something or it damages something, it destroys it. Menace means it has to be blocked by 2 creatures. My guy also has Menace, and then so they have like now 2 creatures to block, but actually get in and attack. I can't block because of Menace. So right now I kinda like just playing out my mentor, buffing up my fighting Paul Ninja. Now I get to attack. I can't block it because it has Menace. And then I get to remove my counter and exile a card from my opponent's hand. And they have all spells, which is scary. 6 mana 5/5, 3 mana 2/2, 3 mana 2/3. And the lifelink guy, this is quite an annoying hand to deal with. And yeah, this is going to be a close match for sure. If they draw, you can actually block both. This is kind of scary, because these random 2-drop creatures are not that scary. You can deal with them. I'm just going to exile the big guy here, because if they draw 1 more land, you can't block this guy because it is Menace. So they could just ninjutsu in a random guy. And we see how ninjutsu works. It drew a 3/3 archer, and probably still going to attack, but can't ninjutsu anymore, just hitting me for 3. And now it's my turn to respond. Attacking still makes sense because like they can double block, but I have the intervention to back it up. So let's just go for our attack first, see how they respond to this. We know their hand and can either block or not block. They just don't block here. It's fine with me. Now I just get to run out my other cards. I will just play my Moth Rider and my Hotshot Mechanic, just some random creatures that I can block with, and then just end the turn. I still have my Wondrous Intervention. If worst comes to worst, I draw their 4th land. Now we have perfect information over their hand. This guy has to be double blocked. You will see how this works once they attack us. We just like play out their 2/2, which is fine. Okay, this is now here is Death Touch as well, and I'm just going to use my Wondrous Intervention here, take out this unit, and for damage rate they have another one of these in their hand. A little bit annoying, but I think I will just start with, well, this has reach, right? So I can't attack with my flyer. Let's just attack with our 4/4 then. I don't actually have a combat trick anymore, which is a little bit annoying, so if they double block, then they actually kill my unit, but that's Kinda fine, I think. Just take it, so 4 more damage for free. And now we want to develop another creature. I think I will just develop my own centipede here. And you can equip this guy to other guys, and then he has this effect of giving it +2/+0 when it attacks. Very close battle, both have 4 lands. This is sometimes the difficulty when playing these matchups. It's one player draws 4 lands, the other player just draws no lands at all. This costs 2. We could equip this over here and attack. Also equip this over here and attack. Target artifact, enchantment, or that creature. So if you destroy the artifact, doesn't have death touch anymore. I think that's worth it. Also destroy this guy. I think the artifact is more problematic. Oh, then if you control an artifact and an enchantment. Ah, that makes sense. So if you had this on the battlefield, then we would have gotten a 2/2. And now what we can do is just... I still want to equip this guy to someone. 4/4, 4/3. Let's equip it to our flyer. And then just go for the attack here. And this creature is now equipped. If this guy dies, it falls off again and becomes a creature again. And I think this is easier if you just see what happens instead of just trade. This guy has reach, so it can block creatures with flying. And these two trade for my one. So double blocked, 4 damage get to both. And I get my creature back. Now I'm very far ahead on the board. And I had on card advantage as well. And the first game goes to us. So I hope you kind of understood the basic mechanics. I don't think it's very different. Yeah, we'll just jump into the next game immediately. So see you there. It has been found. Gian Chistuta is our next opponent. Very low in the bronze, and we have a very good hand again. 2-drop into a potential 3-cost card and a 5-drop. This guy attacks alone, or whenever a samurai or a warrior attacks alone, gets +1/+1. Also, it's an enchantment creature. Opponent is double mulliganing. If you don't like your hand, you can send it back and draw less cards. Opponent also has 60 cards in the deck. That's probably just a new player trying out Magic Arena. A bit unfortunate to play against these. There's a rank reset, so you have to face them. This guy is the pilot that can crew vehicles, so it has power 2 or greater. Yeah, I'm just going to run out my guy and probably just trade eventually. This is a samurai as well, so it could get buffed up. White red is usually very aggressive. They have the Era of Enlightenment. This one is like a landmark type. First one you scry to, this is like predict. You look at the top 2 cards, you can put them on top or bottom. Then you gain 2 life next turn, and the next turn it turns into a 2/2 with quick attack. And here I'm just going to take this block, trade against each other, and that seems fine. They mulligan a lot, so they should have a worse hand on average. Then we get our centipede online. They gain 2 life from their countdown. You can see the counters down here. Another land. They have 3 mana available. And yeah, we draw a lot of lands here. Bunch more. Opponent plays a 1/3. Whenever Samurai Warrior you control attacks alone. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. Pretty straightforward. We drew our 4-drop, which now puts a +1/+1 counter on our centipede. We have like a 1 mana, deal 2 damage, maybe. Going to try. If they kill in response, that happens. No. So then we're going to attack. Also with its ability gets +2/+0. And 5/3. Opponent is thinking. So this is like the white red theme. The samurai and warriors attacking alone, giving you benefits. And now this Era gets off online, puts in a 2/2 with quick attack or first strike. That's basically quick attack. And let's see what their next play is. So this is not a samurai, this is a monk. They play this card. So this guy is like a thing you can put on your land, and it turns your land into a 3/3 red spirit creature with haste. Normally creatures can attack immediately when they come into play, like for example this guy is summoning sick, what it's called, he just came into play so it can't attack. But this land can now directly attack. I will not jump block, damage gets regenerated at the end of the turn. So blocking here would be very bad. Now I'm going to attack with my samurai or with my centipede. Of course they can double block, would then deal 1 + 2, 3 damage. But that's very risky. So I just don't go for it, and now I can play my samurai. This guy has vigilance, so it can attack without being tapped. For example, now if my opponent attacks me, this guy can't block because it's tapped. However, this guy can block, and for example, this land can either be used for mana now or to attack. And I don't have any good attacks now because I just block everything. This is a constructed card. Legend rule doesn't apply. The legend rule means you can only have one of each legendary card in the battlefield. If you just get +1/+1. This was just a beginner trying out Magic Arena. So unfortunate to beat them up, but this brought us to silver and will hopefully find us better opponents in the future. Next match here, now in silver versus Happy 1912. Don't worry, play Snappy. Just watch this video, it's so good. And I will keep this hand. We only have 2 lands, but we have our Sunblade Samurai to search us more lands if we need to. And we have a very good curve with 2-drop into a 3-drop. And of course we hope to just draw lands, but not sure. This is probably the biggest difference between this one and the other, like lore, that you don't consistently get mana. Always depends a little bit. Another red-white deck. And they start with an automated Artificer, which is just a 2-mana 1/3, but you can use it for mana, but only for artifacts. I'll run out my guy, and then I will just attack here. And because it attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 due to its own effect. So it won't block, it's just a 1/3. And it's not worth it to capture this, it's just a 2-drop. At the end of my opponent's turn, I will use this channel ability to discard this card and search other land. Opponent is playing a 3-mana 3/2, and Samurai Warrior you can attacks alone. Tap target creature you don't control, so if they attack, they can make my creature tap and unable to block basically. And they attack me for 1, seems pretty obvious. And I will just now use this ability, discard it. You can always see the graveyard. Put a Plains card into my hand. And Biting Pawn Ninja is next. Could just use this on this guy to win, but I think just the 7-tail Mentor on my Echano Exemplar is stronger. And then I can use this to attack alone. If they want to trade, that's fine. 4 damage. My 2-drop trades for their 3-drop. And live with that, and we still have our 7-tail Mentor sticking around. Subtle Ogre, 3-mana 4/1 artifact guy, and ends the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. So my 7-tail Mentor can't block. Can get in a free attack if they want. And we draw another land, which is okay. And I think what I do here, I could still Oblivion Ring this stuff. This of course only exiles a creature with mana value for more. This has only 3 mana values, it wouldn't exile anything, so that's not worth it. I kinda want to like go for value, otherwise I have to play something, can't just sit around and do nothing. I'm going to run out my Biting Pawn Ninja like this, and just pass the turn here. I need 1 more land for our Imperial Oath, summoning a bunch of 2/2s. I might just have a removal spell here, but I want, like if this guy dies, it puts a creature or a +1/+1 counter on something. If they attack here, I can put this over here. And this is fine. Discard, exile target artifact creature, return to the battlefield owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. We would actually like save our own creature with our removal spell. Not sure if that's worth it or not. See how they attack, if they attack or not. Basically, if you exile this, it comes back and then the arrest is no longer on the unit. See if they attack in or not. Okay, they do. They are like right red, they're very aggressive. I think I'm just going to go for the block and the trade. See if they have like could have a combat trick, Kindled Fury or something. Take the trade. a counter on this one. Now what I will do is this even worth it? I don't think it's worth it actually. I want to keep my Rebellion Ring. We don't draw a land for our Imperial Oath, that was my plan. It's fine just casting my 1/1 or my 2/1 for 1. And if you ever draw a 6 land, they discarded a Reinforced Ronin. It's like a weird creature, 1 mana 2/2 haste, but it returns, and you can discard it to draw a card. So just put it into the graveyard, draw a new card. It's fine by me. And yeah, let's just pass. Still no reason to Oblivion Ring this guy. And we still have our Touch the Spirit Realm if we really need to. A little bit complicated card, but again, first text is just you capture something. Second text is you remove this and then it comes back at the end of the turn. No attack with the 1/3 is interesting. And we don't quite draw. This is also just a 3 mana 2/3 enchantment with lifelink, enchantment creature with lifelink. I'm just going to run out my Brood Suit. And this is like a landmark, but you can use your creatures to activate it and put it into the battlefield. Play their 2 mana 1/1 that draws a card. Get some value online. I'm still waiting for them to play like a big creature so that you can exile it. So far I'm not scared of anything they're doing. They can't attack because my 4/3 can just block. So I can tap this guy to make this a 4/3 and it blocks. And it's my turn now, and this is very good. Naomi, Pillar of Order, insane card. Enters the battlefield or attacks if you control an artifact and an enchantment. But I don't actually control an enchantment yet. Whoops. That was a little bit of a misplay. What I can do now is tap this guy to activate my Brood Suit and just attack in here. Might have like a combat trick or something, but I kill my Brood Suit. I don't really care about this. And I misread this card. I read artifact or enchantment. So this was really insane, so we had to have our enchantment out first. And I just have the deal for damage to target attacking a blocking creature. 1-for-1 trade. Can live with that. Now they get to swing in for a little bit of damage, but only like 2. And if they are stuck at 4 lands, we're stuck at 5 lands. Can exile 2 good things they do. Just play like random 1/1s or 2/2s. I'm not really that afraid with my Naomi on the battlefield. Don't have an artifact anymore. Oh yes, this is an artifact. Nice. Don't want to trade for the 1/1 of course. This would just be a jump block, so we take 3 damage. Not too terrible. We just play nothing. So we draw our 1 tapped land, which is a little bit annoying. But why wouldn't they just play nothing? Make much sense. Maybe there's another of this card, which is actually not going to attack here with my Naomi. I want to wait until I have like an enchantment on the board to actually get value. Instead I'd rather, if they don't want to do anything, that's fine with me. You play a high-speed hover bike. Another vehicle, in a landmark you can put into play. When it enters the battlefield, you tap a thing. So I tap my Naomi, can't block next turn. Take another 3 probably. Still not very concerning to me. We have a second hover bike or something. Just played small guide so far. We have no target for our Lord Conda. We're unfortunate, but next turn we can make 3 2/2s. This is probably a good target for our guy. A 5 mana 4/3 haste. A Samurai Warrior control attacks alone. It gets +1/+0. Each Samurai or Warrior control. An Artificer, Fox, Monk, Dog. So not really that much benefit. And here comes a big attack from our opponent. And don't think I mind that much. I have to keep my artifact around and take some damage here. Yeah, that's fine. 8 damage is a lot, but not the end of the world. And yeah, next turn we can play our Fall of Conda, make a 2/2, and hopefully recover from there. This effect didn't go off because he didn't only attack with 1 guy, attack alone. And my turn. Yeah, let's go for the Fall of Conda. Exile target creature and opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater. So we can just exile this guy for 3 now. Exile is just like Obliterate, doesn't even go to the graveyard. Just never comes back. And now we can attack with our Naomi and make a 2/2. Because we now have an artifact and an enchantment on the battlefield. And then because I actually drew a, I drew my second enchant permanent, will actually just do this and return my biting pawn ninja. I will exile it and return it, so I have another blocker for these random guys. Still have to deal with the high-speed cover bike. Now it's my unit actually exiles and then comes back. Another counter. Now it isn't enchanted by this arrest anymore. Still get hit for 2 here, but second level doesn't do anything. Then you get this fragment of Conda. Next time you get these 3 2/2 samurai tokens. We go for a repel the Vile. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. So our gold card, our 5 mana 4/4 is gone. And I shouldn't have any good attacks. They can attack me for 2 with this guy. That seems a little bit scary to do. Okay, and the sacrifice, that guy, Fake Search, is a pretty good card. But this is 1 mana. You may sacrifice an artifact, deal 2 to the damage to a creature if it was acquisition cost was paid. So you can either deal 2 to the creature or deal 4 if you pay the cost. Here just going to double block, and they just get to take out 1 of my units here. Because this has 2 attack, my units have 3 health, so just kill my 1/1, interesting. And they just are left with their guy. Yes. Doesn't do anything, it's just if somebody steals something. Now we get to cast our Imperial Oath, scry 3, predict 3, put more on-land cards on the top. Centipede is pretty good. And have now 3 2/2s on the battlefield, and this will output a lot of damage for the next few turns. Just have 2 cards in hand. Need to kill them in 5 turns because Hover Bike strikes us, but currently we have 8 damage and 8 damage again, or 9 damage even. I'm not very afraid here. Scrap Welder is annoying. 3 mana, 3/3. You can sacrifice an artifact with value X, for example this guy. You can bring back a smaller artifact. So for example, this guy costs 1, and they can then sacrifice this one. Now my Saga transforms into the 1/3 defender. I think I'm just going to use this opportunity to remove this guy. Same card I played before, now it can't attack, block, or attack vehicles, so it just basically is removed from the game. And then I'm just going to move to combat and attack with all of my 2/2s. They can through the vehicle and block, lose 1, but actually flying, so we can't actually do it. It's very good for us. Yeah, I have this guy to make this a vehicle creature. And now all the trades happen, and we can just run out our Centipede afterwards. So I think we're in a good spot, a little bit close. The opponent just draws a land and says go. We play our Moth Rider Patrol and then just attack with everything. Our Centipede gets +2/+0 from the effect. And they just go to 1. Don't block with the Spirit Companion. The reason we play out this land, we can cast every card we draw. And I think about what is this card in my hand. And they just concede. So already, last game, last one I recorded was 2 and 3. This one is already going way smoother, despite the deck being arguably weaker. That's oftentimes how it goes in Magic. It's the worst decks that perform better. 3 and 0. Now we're playing against Jaskier. This is a mono white hand, but pretty good. We have our rare card, our card draw effect, 2 removal spells, and another vehicle card. Seems pretty good. And they play a Uncharted Haven, basically a land that enters tap, and you get to choose which color it produces. They choose red. I'm going to run out my Tank Buster. Will just be used to draw cards. Very long effect. Basically, you can pay 2 to tap it and draw a card. You can activate this whenever. Yes. Display our Hotshot Mechanic. Could technically be used to attack with this. But I think if they're playing red, I'm just going to go for the value here and draw a card at the end of the turn. Seems like a better play. Black red, and they play a Bonesplitter boar, 3 mana, 3/2, trample, overwhelm. You can pay 5 to equip it to a creature, and then that equipped creature gets +3/+2 and has trample. It's fine. Can currently block it. I will just draw a card here for free. I assume this is how the card is supposed to be played, just to draw each turn. And this one we can just go for an attack here with our pilot. We want to trade their 3-drop for my 1-drop, that's fine with me. And then we can play our Exemplar and end the turn, drawing more cards afterwards. Red, black, going to block here. If they attack, I just block with this potentially. See what they have. This guy reconfigures basically, we saw it before, Thundering Raiju. 4 mana 3/3 haste. When it attacks, put +1/+1 counter target creature you control, then deals X damage to each opponent where X is the number of modified creatures you control other than this guy. Okay. I can't actually attack with this, otherwise I block with my Bankbuster. But I can put it on itself, interesting. So let's just kill this then. That's why we held up our Wonders Intervention. Destroy it. It's a rare card, so it's probably good. And I think I want to be a little bit aggressive here. Let's pay 2. Oh, we don't have to pay 2. Just have to click on this guy, crew 3. And our Hotshot mechanic only has 2 power, because of its ability, can crew our vehicle. And then I'm going to just attack with both my creatures. And that's a lot of damage if they don't block. Then I can switch this out for my card in hand and just take the best card out of the hand and just actually go for the trade. Interesting. I think I'm still wanting to do this. Rebuy my card draw card. And now get to see the hand. Take the best card. These two trade. And let's just see what their best card is. Okay, they have 3 Voltage Surges, so 3 times the deal 2. A 5 mana 3/6 that brings back an artifact. And the 2 mana 1/3. So we remove the biggest card. And they have a bunch of Voltage Surges, but we have a 2 mana card that draws us 3 cards over the time. So even if they shoot down all of my creatures, it doesn't really matter. Okay. And I'm going to just proceed to attack us. Not going to attack with this, of course, because on Voltage Surge you can sacrifice the Artificer and then destroy it. Instead I will just go for the card draw value here. Destroy immediately because I have nothing else to do. Go another land and just run out my other vehicle. And just end my turn. 3 times Voltaic Surge in hand. No other value. 1 card drawn. I think we are in a very good spot. Don't like draw permanent lands. Draw a very good card here, the Twin Shot Sniper. This guy enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to any target. In response, I will crew my vehicle. Then this gets shot. It also has the ability to discard it to deal 2 damage. Very good card. Okay, play out our land. Draw a card. And then I think I'll just attack with this guy first. Just a Vigilance guy, so it can attack and block. It can attack without being tapped. The double block is fine with me. I'm just taking out the artifact here. Because then they can't use the Metallic Surge anymore with the buffed up effect. And then I will just play my Samurai out. Mana 4 for Vigilance. They can like block and shoot it. Hopefully draw some lands in the future as well. So not just spells, if we just draw spells, we just draw lands, we still lose. Let's hope this doesn't happen. 5 lands, we drew 8 so far. Another non-land card. 1 mana 2/2, haste, beginning of your end step, return it to its owner's hand. That's fine. And I'm fine with this 2 for 1. Because I now can Voltaic Surge it. That's totally fine. It's also an artifact. Oh, there's also an artifact which I didn't even notice. Okay, 2 for 1. Yeah. Draw a Moth Rider Patrol. No reason to play this out quite yet when they have 2 Take Surges in hand. Let's draw a card first. And now you have 2 Moth Riders. Get a Treasure and a Pilot. Let's just go for... We don't have an enchantment yet, so our Banishing Slash doesn't get us the Samurai. And go for the 3 damage. And then run out our Moth Rider Patrols. They can like bolt all of them. They want. Just then I have empty-handed and I have the 3/3 and my other guy. Let's just see what their game plan is here. It can't hit the base or the life total, just one hit. Next is maybe drawing a land would be nice for once. Just do nothing. So yeah, I'm just going to go in with my Bank Buster here. There's no more counter, so we can't draw any more cards. And yeah, just screw it up. Then go for my 7-tail Mentor. If I buff up my Bank Buster, this means that I now have to take Surge and kill it. Otherwise it gets too big and I can't kill it anymore. The double Voltaic Surge or okay, just 2 damage, it's fine. That's a 2 for 1 for our vehicle. So this vehicle drew us 5 cards and now gets 2 for 1. It's very good. And yeah, let's just attack in with our ninja. Go down to 3. The effect always triggers, but I don't have a menace counter anymore, so I can't use it anymore. Once, basically. And use this ability to tap them down. And yeah, just this is what happens if you just have removal and no card advantage. One has like a 2 mana draw 15. Then you just lose. Next opponent, Sneaky Pete. See how sneaky you are, Pete. And you go first. A little bit of an expensive hand, but you have a removal spell, so I think it's fine. You would go for lower cost cards, but you don't even have that many. And in the worst case, you just don't draw any lands. So I generally don't like mulliganing at all. Unless you really have to, and it's in a playable hand. Draw more lands here, which is not optimal. And they play mono red, which is also not optimal. Draw even more lands, so this is like what it's called flooding. Now I have way too many lands. And yeah, let's just see. If our opponent has like all spells, then we lose. We have a Peerless Samurai, so 2/3 manas, can only be blocked by 2 creatures. X alone. Next spell you cast this turn costs 1 less to cast. Spells are also creatures. You can use this with both creatures and spells. It's going to run out my Ambusher here. I can use it to cast it cheaper with Ninjutsu, just for 2. I'm just going to play it out for 4, then I have nothing else to do. Don't really want to Honor's Intervention this guy, just a random 2/3. Yeah, they seem mono red. Can't block it because it has like menace. Now they get to play 1 spell for cheaper. And they go for the Twin-Shot Sniper. Very good card for my opponent. Again, this card is one of the bombs in the format. 4 mana 2/3 that kills a guy. And also a bomb rare in the Eater of Virtue. 1 mana, 1 equip, artifact, +2/+0. And it basically stores the keywords, like a Victor would store the keywords. This is equipped and dies. gets a menace counter, and this gets good, and Rise gets a reach counter, and it just passes that on to the other creatures. I think, like, this is very awkward. Like, what are we even doing here? I think I'm just playing my Moth Rider Patrols here and shoot down whatever the Eater of Virtue ends up killing. Still mono red, still no other color. Yeah, so now it's a 4-3. And I will just kill this in response. Just try to. This equipment is basically equipped to this creature. It gives it +2/+0. And because it's attacking now, I deal 4 damage to it and it should die. So I still get this effect. And this is exiled. And now it has reach. Basically, menace. If you want to equip it now this creature gets menace. And it's hard to deal with, especially if you just draw lands. I will just pass here and use my time to tap down this Twin-Shot Sniper that it can't attack. These guys have like this 4 mana ability you can use to stall out the game. They now draw their white source. They are at 6 lands each. And basically when they go to attack, now they're still in the main phase, if they go to attack, we then use our ability to prevent this attack from happening. Now our Moth Rider taps down their creature, and this prevents it from attacking. Very expensive. We don't have anything else to do. And don't just want to run out a 4-4, a 4-3 that can't even block it well. This is just a 3 mana 2-3 lifelink, and they equip it to the other guy. Fine. Draw a non-land card, unheard of. So I want to run this out. This is why I'm going to attack my Moth Riders. This guy is tapped, so it can't block. Run out my Sunblade Samurai. Bit of something for 2 mana here, it seems like. My planes. It's going to take this hit for 4 if they go for it. I have to because there's menace now. Blade. You ever wondered what all the keywords are in Magic? You can see them here on the screen. Because this is a rare card, so it's a little bit more complicated than the normal common card here. This is like the really strongest card here. A 3 mana 3/2. Saw that before. Yeah, just gain back life now. You can go over 20 in Magic. Don't have a good draw would be like an artifact, so we can get our Naomi online. This is not an artifact, but also not terrible. I can just run this out as it is. The 2/2 double striker. Double strike is like quick attack, but it works on defense. And then just pass my turn. Basically just tap down whatever they have equipped it with. And yeah, double Moth Rider Patrol should be annoying to deal with. Hopefully stall out this game a little bit until we find our removal spells for the sword, for the creatures. Because we can't, like this 4 life swing edge turn, just so hard to deal with over and over again. Can't just attack and hope it works out. I have a spell here, Blame Discharge, red and X, so you can pay any mana. Use X damage, target creature Planeswalker. If you control a modified creature, to use X+2. Basically just shoot this for 4 damage, which is fine, not much I can do about it. And yeah, go to their turn. Let's see, like up 1 land, but they just card quality has been way higher so far. They're also on the draw, so they get 1 more card instantly. Very close, like very close game. I think they're definitely in the lead. As long as they have our Moth Rider Patrols. A high-speed hoverbike is annoying. Taps down my blocker. Okay, so now my Sunblade guy can't block anymore. And you can actually only re-equip this in your main phases, not during combat. The summary warrior you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink until end of turn, sacrifice, another creature you control gets indestructible. So they have a bunch of small guys here. And now we get to tap down their disciple. Now they can't attack with it and can't switch this later around anymore. Don't want to go too deep into these different phases because they oftentimes don't matter. What they can do now is attack with these two and tap down my Moth Rider Patrol with this ability. Take 5 damage this way. Can swing back for 4 afterwards. And hopefully draw an artifact. So get our Naomi Pillar of Order online. Artifact and enchantment. I'll just attack with this, that's making sense as well. Now it gets lifesteal. This guy's effect. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to like outrace them and draw another land. So very unfortunate. Actually going to play out another land because I now can tap 2 things. And pass my turn. Now we can activate this ability 2 times for both my Moth Riders. Seems pretty decent. Draw a green land. A little bit surprising. Yeah, first have to use abilities when they go to combat and actually trying to attack us. I think I'm just going to tap down these 2. Okay, go to combat. Let's tap down the Disciple. We use it to crew the other bag in response. Makes sense. I don't really know what we did wrong this game. It's just like not sure what happened here. This guy is also very strong. So I think it's the best course of action to remove this one. Because that way can't really attack us that well. Now they still get to tap us if it attacks alone. If it attacks alone, then otherwise these 2 can't attack, so they only get 2 damage in basically. The way. Yeah, this attacks alone. Both of these samurais activate, tap my guy, lifesteal, hit me for 9 or 2-9. And they have a Yukai Naturalist, so another 2-mana 2-2 lifelink. We draw another land. Yeah, what are we supposed to say here? There's nothing we can really do. Then run out our guy and hold the land. For 8-9 lands now. Opponent is at 7. They have just 2 more creatures on the board because of that. Can't actually tap anything, I just noticed. A little bit annoying. But let's see. What is their draw? Did they also draw a land? Doesn't look like it. But these are kind of the board stalls that sometimes happen. Oh, I should have, like, why didn't I play out my land if it was a misplay? She could have tapped this guy down. Definitely was a misplay here. Not playing this land. Kinda missed that we only had 8 mana. We go to combat, we can't tap anything. This is not a samurai. I think I have to just start blocking, just start trading these creatures off. Otherwise we don't ever progress here. Because the Eater of Virtue just makes one creature very strong all the time, but we can't just take damage all of the time. I might have like a combat trick here. Also nothing we can do. This is not a samurai or a warrior, so these 2 didn't have any effect. Trade for my for this guy instead. Interesting. And yeah, hope they draw a land. Not much more to say. They're 31. Very stallish game. Trips on the sniper. Now it has lifesteal and menace because of the lifesteal guy dying and menace guy dying. And we draw another Sunblade Samurai. Going to run that out and play out my land. Now we have 4 mana open to tap this down again. Just a little bit of a stall, but they're definitely winning. Still. Okay, they move the sword to another guy. It's fine. Now we just tap the guy with the sword. And they go to combat, so they can't attack with it. Can't move the sword anymore as well, because they can't just move the sword in the main phases. They use their guy for doing another bike. Take us for 2 in the air. Not really much we can do about that. And what do we want to draw? We want to draw like a Enchantment removal spell. Our 6-cost card that draws X2. A bunch of 2/2s. Our hoverbike guy can draw. Not our hoverbike guy, like our bank robber guy that can draw some cards. Opponent's playing it very slowly. So you have like the decisions of the lifetime to make. Playing out these turns over and over again. 24 to 23. Okay, I just have like also a removal spell. Take search. Now, so the last game sacrifices this guy, and now this has another card attached to it. But it's a 2-for-1, so I'm kind of happy about that. At least our Naomi got some value. I'll equip it to this guy. Now it has Reach, Menace, and Lifesteal. Redraw nothing. Let's just pass. One is like slow playing terribly. We draw like another spell here. This is sometimes just how Magic works. If you draw 10 lands, your opponent draws 7. Just have 3 more guys on the board, and you can't do anything about that. Opponent is taking their time, making hard decisions with 2 cards in hand, roping me. Okay, Ecologists Terrarium, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, and then you can sacrifice it. So it puts a land into the hand, and then they can sacrifice it, put a counter on something. Basically a land they drew, but a little bit better, because they can still put a counter on something. Activate only the sorcery, so I can't do that mid-combat, only like right now basically. And use this time of my opponent roping to expand the face a little bit. And of course I have to tap down these guys first, as usual. Use the hoverback again. Takes half a year to do so. You just tap the other guy, and you can relax, take out 2 damage, and move on. And yeah, there are these different phases, the upkeep and draw steps, so there's stuff happening like in round start, in Magic, or in, it's called the upkeep, and you have a draw step. Just literally have like a second to take search. Yeah, I would like to draw some spells as well, my friend. And these are the games that make you hate Magic. Why will you move the sword? Like this literally doesn't make any sense. Go to my turn, please. Okay, no land again. And it just means we are now dead on board. Or no spell again, and this just sometimes happens. The opponent draws all 3 colors and random stuff. We just draw nothing. Let's go through the motions once again. And yeah, nothing more to say. 17 lands, drew 11, opponent drew 7. This is what won them the game. No decision making. This card was really good. Not that good either. Yeah, didn't draw any lands. Sometimes you lose this way. Next opponent, Vetinari. 4-1 is our score now. Vetinari. Let's see. I need to have a better hand than last one. Very good hand. Start with our 1-drop, and then we have our Bank Buster, and then we just have removal spells to follow it up. On the play you don't get to draw a card, and the draw you got to draw an extra card in your first turn. So the play on the play can be a little bit more aggressive, the play on the draw can then be a little bit more card advantage. We play against another red-white opponent playing an Adventure Exemplar. We have this card on deck ourselves. And we're going to attack here. Because this with an attack gets +1/+1, so we can't even block it. Then we can just use our Bankbuster to draw a card at the end of the turn. Or just shoot down the attacker if it's like a super scary. Play like a haste guy, so have this Wondrous Intervention. They'll play another Samurai. Annoying. So now they get 2 effects when the guy attacks alone. I don't think this one matters very much. Next spell costs 1 less. Shouldn't really be that impactful. I don't think they have another good spell to cast here for 0 mana or 1 mana. Take 3 damage. No, I forgot to draw a card. No! I was bad at this game. Ah, that's actually really brutal. It's so bad. Now just going to load up my Moth Rider Patrol. And pass. Now we can activate our Bankbuster. Oh, this is so bad. Why did I forget to draw a card? Oh, it's really awful. Going to take this block if they just attack with this guy, or the potential double block. And then if they play something before combat or not, they can also take 3 damage once. Ah, this was awful. Why did I just forgot? Strict misplay. Okay. Well, that's a good card. Quick attack. When a Samurai Warrior attacks alone, untap it if it's the first combat phase of the turn as an additional combat phase after this phase. Shouldn't have that many good effects to cast here though. Now what we can do is we can double block. Now they basically scout and get an extra attack, and our guys have 4 attacks, so they can take down the Speedless Samurai. And after we've blocked, I kill my 2/3. After we've blocked, we can now crew our Bankbuster and have a good blocker if they attack a second time. So I create a 1-drop for the 3-drop for my 1-drop. Can live with that. And now we can just go for the Fall of Lord Condor. Exile the Raiju's Storm's Edge. And I guess we attack. I don't want to block here. Because I don't have any other creatures on the board. Because I missed my Bankbuster. Now we get to draw at the end of the turn. This guy will just give us the 1/3. Next turn does nothing. Then gives us the 1/3. I wish I would have drawn a card with this before. How do you miss such a thing? I saw like a meme. This guy, 4 mana, quick attack, scout. That's very funny. Another Exemplar is annoying. Both have their effect and turns into a 4/3. I will take this damage for 1 turn. Then use my Bankbuster afterwards. Gets +2/+2 by each modified creature you control. So modified if like with counters or with other effects. Whipped, counter on it. This is pretty good. Each player gains control of each permanent they own. So I'm just going to go for the attack here. Hopefully be able to ninjutsu here. We don't block. I might just block with this guy. It's a little bit risky. Maybe it was a bad attack. Oops. Yeah. Didn't actually consider that block. Didn't actually consider that block. I'm just going to run out my ambusher manually then and draw a card at the end with my Bankbuster. This is what's called bouncing up to each other. I of course hope that it wouldn't block and I could have recalled this, my Ninjutsu ability, and then played it again. I will just trade my ambusher here. We have a Bankbuster, we always win the long game, usually, with like our 3 extra cards we draw. With this guy coming up, draws me a card. And we block. If they play some fancy spell on it, we can Wanderer's Intervention and kill it. This gains us 3 life back with us lifelink. We play a target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchantment creature, put a counter on it and it gets +2/+2. I think I'm just going to use my spell here to try and kill this in response. It's a 2 for 1. I don't get the combat trick anymore. And yeah, seems like a good value for me. Joker is this card again. If it's like, if you cast it on an enchantment creature or a legendary creature, like this one, it doesn't just temporarily get +2/+2, but get a +1/+1 counter and +1/+1. A little bit of a weird card. Basically, they've printed these 1 mana +2/+2 for each set, and they have to find out some new effect to trigger. This is like a special set where the creatures are also enchantments and artifacts. Usually the artifacts and enchantments are like this stuff. It just sits around, does nothing. For this set's synergies, it also works a different way. I'm sure what my opponent is doing over there, what they're thinking about. 2 cards in hand. Like, it's also something generally annoying. I think the players generally play it slower. I have the same guy as we do, puts a counter on something, probably on the Exemplar, I would guess. This would give this guy +2/+0, because now they have a modified creature. Modified with counters, auras, or equipment. Put it on this guy. Just now it's a... That's for each other modified creature, so... Yeah. Works for me. Now we get our 1/3. I'm just going to run out my Brute Suit. 3 mana 4/3, and I can crew this with this guy. And just go to the next turn, draw some cards with my Bankbuster. And just like wait a little bit, I can attack with this unit next turn. I have 2 cards, 5 lands, we have 1 card. But we have a lot of value on the board. This is 2 cards, this draws me a card and it dies. And yeah, a little bit of a board stall, but we have these suits that we can attack with. And this 2 for 1 was really big. I'm trading there. This was also 2 for 1, the Fragment, Fall of Conda. This is quite a good card. I like. And roping again. And what's funny is these cards actually have flavor text as well. Imperial Samurai undergoes strict training, honing the skills and purifying the spirits in the hope they will prove worthy of Kami's blessing. The story is like this is like Japan, or Kamigawa is what it's called. It's like a plane based on Japan. Okay, stuff is happening. Scrapyard Steelbreaker, 4 mana 3/4, sacrifice another artifact, it gets +1/+2 at the end of turn. You can do this whenever. When you don't have any artifacts, so it doesn't really matter. But it shouldn't have any good attacks, so at the end step, you can now draw a card. But then, doesn't really matter. Let's go to our turn, and I think I will just draw my card immediately. It gets me this pilot. And then we can use the pilot to crew our vehicle and then attack with it. And just want to trade out a little bit of the board, because they might have an effect that gives everything +X/X, and this is not really usable all the time. This is just better 4/4 to crew. Fine trading this out for any of the creatures. And yeah, it's a little bit of a risky block. I'm just taking out this guy. And 4 damage to this. Doesn't do any damage to this, but they combine their 2 damage. We'll just play our Sunblade Samurai and relax. Yeah, this is a decent card, but not without any other effects. This just seems like a random red-white stuff deck. A random, like, rare card that's pretty good probably. Our rare Spiraled gave us some card advantage. Furious Subduer, guy we saw multiple times now. Pepper. Sees your pathetic struggling. This reminds me of the Borg, if you saw Star Trek. Resistance is futile. Sees you struggling. It will be assimilated. Got about 3 seconds to get out of here before you get a face full of metal. This is just a jump attack? What? Tap down my guy or what? It's weird. I don't think they can really attack here, like... What? Yeah? We'll just... a trade. Is it just like jump block, get my card? I think I like this. Just jump block, get my card. My own Giganto Exemplar. A Moth Rider Patrol. Start by running out the Exemplar. Like this attack as a 5/5 seems pretty good. I have to be afraid of a combat trick or something here. I can't just like blindly block. Otherwise just not block would be fine with me. And I can play my Moth Rider Patrol and go from there. For this attack next turn again, we have our Bank Buster to use. And it's thinking hard. Goes for the double block. Fine. Take out the bigger creature here. 3/4. Now we just run out our Moth Rider Patrol. I'm still a little bit hopeful for this ninjutsu doing something. I'm just going to end my turn. Hopefully rebuy this Bank Buster, get some more value. I think we have to actually run this out here. I don't think they have a very good attack. We will see. They have their own Moth Rider Patrol, that's fine. No flavor text. Be proud, young pup, you've earned your wings. Rise and become the western wind. My turn, okay. This is also very good. Let's just cast this and this should probably make them concede. Put all 3 lands we would have drawn on the bottom of our deck, so real cards instead. And then we can go for the brew. And then move to attackers and just attack with a whole bunch of stuff. Main thing I want to accomplish here is that they don't block my Bank Buster with multiple creatures and just like Biting Pawn Mincha it out. The ultimate value of this guy is a treasure. Sacrifices artifact at 1 mana, so basically 1 temporary mana he got from this guy's effect. Basically he has like Bank Buster, he goes through and then he robs the money. And this is like the lore behind this card. And we are so far ahead on the board that we can just... I don't know why I tapped my 2 2/2s over this 1/1 that could 2 vehicles. Oh, they just still block everything. A bit random. I don't think I have to... Could have rebought this, I guess. I think it's really worth it. I have probably land in hand. I don't care that much. going to end my turn here. Might be more aggressive with this, or might be slow playing it too much. Or you're going to slow playing too much. And yeah, if opponent draws a land, another one. Play their tap land that gains in 1 life. This is like for red and white, but can't be used the turn it's played. I just go for attack. Let's just go to our combat here. We have to tap something down, then we get to tap that thing down. And then we hit them for 1,000,000. Tap down my mentor. Spawns we tap down their subduer. And all attack. This game should be pretty much over. By the way, if you recall your tokens, they don't actually go to your hand, they just vanish. I'm going to be doing that. And yeah, they need to draw a really good card here. Like a destroy all creatures, which would be weird. I've seen weirder things because they usually want to be aggressive. Or more lands. Now we are even, but we drew more cards than them. Sucks a little bit. Do 3 more cards and now we're even on lands. And yeah. Game. Go to attackers. They will tap something down. And don't tap something down. So attack. And that should just be game. Now we've got the money back. If you have 5 wins, you make a little bit of extra bonus. Let's show them we have this. It's a little bit BM, but I oftentimes think the opponent, like if they stay in the game after they're already dead, they want to see what their hand is, they can just concede. Yeah, game over. We just kinda had more value than them. That's what this game came down to. See our opponent, Loserboo95. We've moved up to Gold League and play against a Gold 1 person. Pretty good hand. 2 drop, 4 drop, 5 drop, 6 drop. You just need some lands. If you don't draw lands, you can cycle a Samurai. And if you don't draw lands, you draw spells. So it's also good. Opponent goes first. Someone from Italy. Play the dual land. Play our normal land. This taps for blue and green. Blue and green, usually a little bit more. Yeah, this is a swamp. Gets black mana. Yeah, this is a pretty good aggressive curve. Play another blue. Here I'm just going to go for the attack. So we've drawn 3 spells. A little bit unfortunate. I might have a counter here. Have a deny for creatures. Didn't. It's fine. Another black. Black, green and blue. And they have the long reach of night. This is like a Saga. First 2, each opponent sacrifice a creature unless they discard a card. And then the third one it comes back as a 0/4. I will just discard my most expensive guy. This 6 mana card. We're going to be very aggressive here. And yeah, a little bit unfortunate on these draw. No lands. Still a ton of damage. Just run out our Brute Suit. And threat even more damage. Going to discard another card. Probably our... This is an enchantment guy. So probably our Sunblade Samurai, I would guess. Correct choice. Could get us a land at some point. I think it's more important to have this removal spell. If we just play a big guy here, we can remove it. Just do nothing again. We can play Mentor. 5 mana. What is it? 1, 2, 3 blue. Up the black. So a 3 mana 2/4 and deals combat damage to the player. You may put an artifact card with mana value less than equal to that damage from the hand onto the battlefield. Deals 2 damage, you get to put a 2 cost artifact on the battlefield. And I'm just going to be aggressive here. Probably have like a removal spell for our card here, I would guess, for 2 mana. I'm still going to put it on the Centipede because this has a good attack. And use this to crew the other guy to crew our Brute Suit. And yeah, just attack for 9 more damage. Probably have a removal spell here, I would expect. Because they specifically tap the mana this way. And yeah, they probably kill one of my guys. It's fine. Have to let my trigger resolve first, then you can block. Not sure what they actually, like I didn't actually really learn all of the interaction spells, what they have for double black. Just like playing around general ideas, they shoot one of them down, and the other one still is a good attack. They're really thinking about it. Assassin's Ink costs 1 less if you control an artifact, 1 less if you cast an enchantment. You have an enchantment artifact, and this is just destroy target creature. That you already were thinking about, destroy target creature. But not the end of the world, still take 4 damage here. And head down to 8. A little bit of a race. Are we able to kill them before they come outvalue us? And this guy is like menace, you have to block it with 2 things. And then when it attacks, then you gets plus X plus 0, where X is the number of creature cards in defending player's graveyard. So right now I have 2 creature cards in my graveyard. That would attack as a 2/4. Pleasure Companion, a little bit annoying here. 3 mana 1/1, flying, makes another 1/1. Another land drawing would be good here. Nice. Now they could have a counter. What is this card? Add 1 enemy colors, that is only for future cards of the chosen type. They can't have a counter spell here. I think it's quite safe to run out our Naomi here. Make a 2/2. That 2/2 can then be used to crew our vehicle. And then we just attack in with our vehicle. That seems like a good attack. And double block, and then that's fine. Still trading 3-drop for 3-drop. You're not that far behind on value. Let's take out this guy. Bit of a Naomi. Next turn, we don't have an artifact anymore, which is a little bit annoying. Just noticed that. So I can't do anything about the ninjutsu if they have one. This is an elusive guy, so we can't actually. We have the lifesteal guy. There's a little bit of value. 2 lifesteal, so we get 3 life back. However, we still have a pretty good attack for the rest of our guys. This is not a samurai, this is an advisor. Only draw a land, which is unfortunate, so it doesn't generate us another guy. I think it's still fine to attack you and you. With vigilance. We trade for the small spirits, it doesn't really matter. Just like the free attack, so it's a free block as well. And they just jump block with a 1/1. It's fine. And yeah, no reason to play out any cards. Let's just wait out. Drop decks better. If one more removal spell, anything big. This is why we kept the card in our hand. We want to discard a card. And yeah. Wanderer's Intervention. We're just going to discard that. I'm going to do my same attack again. Only that this time I have this intervention. They go for like a double block, I can just kill this and get a 2/1. It's pretty good. I have a response, it seems like. No. And we just clear the board basically. Now I think I just sacrifice a creature, probably sacrifice this mentor to put a counter on my Naomi, maybe. Seems good. Loses more to if they have like another destroy target creature spell, but I mean we just need to draw some spells ourselves. Okay, white. Definitely drew a spell here. Blast for knowledge, pretty good. Draw 3, then discard 2 unless you draw an discard artifact card. Pretty good card here. Okay. Draw 2, discard 2 lands. You can start attacking with this guy. Oh, come on! Like, what is this? Just like top deck card draw into destroy target creature. Like, what is this? This is bullshit. They don't even attack, but like, what is this? So let's just make this unable to attack or block. And we draw a land, they draw a card draw spell. Typical Magic. 3. Now it's just a little bit of a stall. Yes. I don't know if you could have played around it, like, because you just have these 0/4s that block. This card seems very good. There's too much card advantage here from our opponent. And this 2/4 holding us down. Very good deck from our opponent. Top decked another spell, it seems like. Yeah, another spell. This guy is a Ninjutsu guy who deals damage, draw a card, and then you just basically another card, draw a card for free. And then they have, whatever this is, return up to 1 target creature planeswalker to its owner's hand. I just returned my thingy. An artifact card from the graveyard to your hand if you can't draw a card. And then it transforms into a 3/3 flying. We just draw a land. Typical Magic, opponent plays the value deck. Happened to us before as well. We won a game like this, but it's just like they drew 2 rares. This is a rare card, and this is an uncommon card. Get the lifesteal guy back. This is probably just out of reach. They just had too much card advantage, too much card value, and exactly the right amount of lifesteal. We're going to play it out, showcase a little bit of the cards. Holding breakthrough, 3/3 flying, and cast a spell, your opponent can't cast a spell with the same value as the spell until your next turn. Doesn't do that much. We will discard a card. And yeah, summon our guy. Make our guy bigger. And attack. Might as well. Double block. Can't block, also fine. This card is currently bugged. Technically, rule-wise, you should just also not have to sacrifice a creature. You can just also discard a card. You don't actually have to. Like, this is a little bit of a bugged card right now. I don't really like facing it that much. I'm just gonna sacrifice this, put another counter on my guy. Yeah, very strong card. Also faced like the last run. I also faced one with 2 guys and ninjutsus and stuff. Who just failed to draw lands ever. And yeah, this is probably just out of reach. Beautiful lands. We have this guy. And yeah. And then we play green. Vanishing Slash. An exile, an artifact, enchantment, tapped creature. And let's just attack. See what happens. And yeah, blue-black is just card advantage. We weren't able to close out the game because of all of the, like, basically this card won in the game. The remove a spell on my 5/5. Otherwise I probably would have defeated them. I don't know why they're like jump blocking me here so aggressively. So let's just kill this guy. And we're dead on the attack if they see the line. Nothing you can do about this though. They just open attack. Use this guy's ability. We will let them do it because we're nice people. Attack, attack, attack. And yeah, just a very good deck from our opponent, and too much card advantage, and remove spell is double. Other target creature very strong. You saw this guy just tapped and untaps and then sits for 3. Good game, and move to the next one. Not sure. And yeah, pretty good hand again. 3-drop, 3-drop. Remove a spell, remove a spell. Definitely a keep. Blue-black land that gains 1 life. If I turn 2 play, change our cat to match our colors. Make the black cat. Okay, this is a very good card. 1, target creature gets 1/1 for each artifact and enchantment you control through the same effect, and then you get a creature with the same effect, which is an artifact on its own. Here I'm just going to run out my root suit probably. Have this guy as attacker online already, and they just wasted the 2 abilities, but they still get out this artifact enchantment card, and they are just like basically a mirror match, white, blue, black versus white, black. Let's see how this works out. Okay, they just like play the enchantment. This is the capture enchantment we have already as well. Just capture our guy. I'm fine with that. Also just kind of exile it. Target artifact, enchantment, or tapped creature. I think it's stronger to just run out my own unit here, the Pawn Ninja. Just play the unit spell. Now this guy comes back. And it's already a 2-2. Because itself it's an enchantment. And this is an enchantment. It just gets bigger and bigger. And goes on. Find a blue. Maybe more white blue. And this is a Planeswalker. What a Planeswalker is doing, they start with a 3 and then draw a card, discard a card, unless you attack this turn. They just go for this first ability. That means they got +1 and go to a 4. And this is actually special because this one phases out when he comes into play, so you can't actually target it this time and you can't attack it this turn. Normally you could attack it and like kill it here, but you just can't this turn. Also a 3-mana card. Let's just play out our mentor, buff up this guy, and attack our opponent. Because you can't attack this one, it's phased out. Very special mechanic, you don't really encounter this that much. So we use our counter to just take out the best card, and of course they have 3 spells again. And we just have to take a life. This is the discard guy, this is the other guy. Let's just take the lifesteal guy out, or the card advantage guy out. And let's see. And take on this Planeswalker, so for +1, you draw this card unless you're attacked. And +1/+1. And you blocked. This is also a very interesting card. Choose one. It's +1/+2/+2, plus -1/-1. You gain 2 life. Very flexible card. You see already this guy is now 6/6 because of all of the enchantments lying around. No blocks for me. And then we get to kill their Kaito. Last ability doesn't matter, it's just like a fancy ninja being for constructed. And this is very good. Now we don't have any enchantment. It's unfortunate. We can go for the banishing / destroying this guy. And then we can run out our hotshot. This is the card that I showed before. Sky 2, gain 2 life. Now we can just attack this Kaito and do damage to it. And now it goes to 0 loyalty and dies. I get the value again. Oh no, why did oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. Why did I play this out? I had like just this effect, I forgot it. God, it was bad. I just have kind of nothing. It's good for us. I will just attack. Also have nothing. All of these cost more than 3, so that doesn't actually excite anything. Get their random units now. Turns into a 2-2. And this turns into a 2-3. That then allows you to pay some life for mana. I see just some random creatures. Do another land. And 3 mana, 3/4. Return target creature you control a vehicle with mana value 2 or less from graveyard to your hand. They don't have anything they can return right now, so this is just like a card that you can use for blocking maybe. Or a tapped land, not optimal. And let's just go for an attack here. And if they double block, we can blow them out with our Wondrous Intervention. They crew their recovery unit into a 3/4. So we go for a double block, and then we can take down the cavalry unit, and this still dies afterwards. This dies, now this is only blocking this one, and their unit dies, we just blew them out. And even if they draw like a big creature, we can still exile it. Exile target creature in opponent control, so that actually doesn't really work out. Fortunately. I kinda want to bait them into blocking me now. Just go for this. How much crew is this? 3, so I can't even crew it. That's very good for us. This is crew 3, so I can't actually activate it. Then I'm just going to hold my land. Wait till next turn. Draw a 3/2. Pretty good. Left touch menace. In this one in the first game. We draw a land. Attack with our 7-tail mentor. And just crew and block, but then I get to exile the Sentinel with my Wall of Conda. We really need to draw some non-land cards here. Just hold these cards because of this card. With this card. And they draw it like another. What is this? Just like draw one land, please. Ever. This is so frustrating. Late game actually, they just draw nothing, and they just draw like a 4 for flying. Like, what is this? Land into like just no. Okay, that's fine. I think we just go for the attack here, take the double block, and reset the board. Now it's just pretty open. Who draws non-land cards first? We get our 1-3 that can block next turn. They have to draw this card. They get a 2-3 flying. So these Sagas are just so much value. Probably just lose to this now because they have just insane value. And didn't ever discard it a... Like, what are these draws, man? Just spell. It's so stupid. 7 mana. But this can't actually crew vehicles, so we are safe for 1 turn. And yeah, Morph Rider Patrol, pretty good. This is a 7 mana, 7/7, Trample Haste. We draw 1 land, literally 2 spells for the last 4 turns, consecutively. And now use this to crew, exactly for 2. Just sacrifice Nakonda to draw a card. Yeah, that's not terrible. Another land. No cards to play here. They crew this, I can tap it down. What the heck? Just draw land once, like you're 25 cards and you draw 7 lands, 8 lands. Insane. Now they have like this effect, can tap another artifact they control to draw a card. Discard a card. This is just annoying. This card. Cards are land. Let's tap this down. Four, 8, 11 lands again. What a joke. This is why I don't really like Magic anymore. Attack. I have to deal damage, otherwise I don't win. This is just so stupid. Opponent plays value 3 colors. We play aggressive 2 colors and draw 11 lands in. It's yeah, take 7. It's average. I think that's the only way to win ever. The opponent just never draws anything. This is a little bit late. Maybe it does something. Draw a card. Here we draw Matriarch. Going to hold off on this turn. Because I have to tap this down, otherwise I die to it. Let's see what they have here. They have a Rufus from the Morph Rider Patrol. And I lose. Just draw a card and discard a card. Actually, I don't want to tap this down, I think. And I can kill it with the intervention. And I can tap down another creature they play, maybe. Land and nothing. Interesting. Wait. think if they have nothing, if we just have lands, we win. Right? Wait, what? Did we win? Didn't believe we could win anymore. Yes! No, we did it! How is this possible? One drew lands for once. Insane! Now I feel sorry for them. I take it back. Rexy Rex is our final opponent. And we have a really good hand. First guy, we see this guy. Papercraft decoy. Okay, White is our opponent. This guy, if you forgot, leaves the battlefield, we pay 2. And we may draw a card. It's like a cheap guy. Scry 2 here. Generally, scrying is better later on because you know more what you need, if you need lands or non-lands. And I don't have anything to do here, so it's just attack. And don't have any units, unfortunately. And an awkward curve, but I think you always just keep this still. White green is like enchantment stuff. White green red, like the tap land that gains in 1 life. And they have a 1 mana 1/1 Death Touch enchantment creature. I just want to exile this. Like, it seems stupid, but next time I will want to play the Sunblade Samurai. I think they have potentially more value than I do. That seems so stupid, just exiling this immediately. Nah, let's just go for the attack here. Maybe that's just straight fit. Probably not, but potential. Now I just get to run out my Centipede. We play our Sunblade, then we play our Naomi with an artifact or 2 artifacts, an enchantment. Now get their 2/2. Switch our cat over to White again. This is an enchantment creature with quick attack. Okay, target creature you control gets +1/+1 in flying until end of turn. Exile this, return it, and it turns into a 2/4. So now they get to give their tanks flying, attack us. It's fine. Important thing is with this effect, quick attack also works on defense. So if we would attack into this, we would just lose our creature. Real question is, do we just want to go for the Banishing Slash here, or do we just want to forego our attack and just go for it next turn? I think just Banishing Slashing next turn gives us the better options. Don't attack in here, because this will just kill your unit for free. This quick attack is, Fast Strike is more broken than quick attack. And I just make this flying again, which is fine. Okay, and they have the Water Conda. We played this multiple times, just exile my guy. Our sweet dreams of our Naomi are gone now. I have to be a little bit more aggressive. Let's just exile this guy. And play our Brute Suit. And attack in for 6. Actually get more value from us, so we have to be a little bit more aggressive here. And just, yeah. And I'll get the 2/4. Yeah. Okay, random rare. 2 mana, 1/3. Put a lore counter on each Saga control, activate on your sorcery, so you get like extra counters. When it dies, choose up to 1, return target Saga you control to its owner's hand. Return target Saga from your graveyard to your own hand. So basically if it dies, it gets like these Sagas back and there's a little value. Draw a land, which is suboptimal. I'm just going to just suit up my Paper Frog with my guy here. And then go for an attack. I have like this Death Toucher, only trades from my Paper Frog. You can also work with Satsuki. Yeah, this is fine. Now I get to draw a card with my Paper Frog dying. This stays around. And this is perfect. Let's now play our Bankbuster and play out this land, because we now actually can use this and draw more cards. Our value is on. Let's just see who wins this value war. They have a flyer currently and this weird 2-drop. gets them their enchantment back. Let's see. Currently are way behind on lands, which is good for them. They have black in their deck randomly. Can use the ability to put another counter on it to make it a 2/2. Would be an option for them. And now, that's exactly what they did. Let's make this a 2/2 quick attack. Attack with the moth probably. It's flying, so we can't block it. And I really want to draw an enchantment here. Enchantment creature would be very good. Okay, this is fine. Let's just draw with our Bankbuster first. Okay, this is pretty good draw. Let's run this out. We have like a 4 mana something. Now we can use this to crew this with 1. Then we can attach our guy to the Fruit Suit. And just go for the attack. If they have like a movable spell, if they have the same card as I do, it's fine. Just block with the Conda, it's also fine. They have like a combat trick, then you get 2 for 1 them again. Okay, block, and just nothing. Like a spell here, or not. Stone Weave. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. Control. Let's not do that. Let's get our 2 for 1 here. And yeah, it's fine. Our Fruit Suit turns back into a creature, and this turns back into a creature as well. Pretty good value here. I just go for a -2/-2. And in response, crew our Fruit Suit, or our guy dies. Just seems like good value. And now my unit dies. And they get another fall. What? Doesn't even kill anything. Oops. I'll just go for the value of the Fragment of Conda here. Interesting choice. Just attack with the Moth again, probably. Yeah, so we have to kind of kill them, because they just have this air clock. Let's go for the card draw first. Another land, not quite what I wanted. Let's go for the Naomi. I just have to give them the value here. Don't really want to be killing these guys. And I have to jump block, draw a card. Maybe they draw some lands. They are up on par with this. 5, 8, 9, so they can draw 4 more lands before they are equal on lands drawn. And yeah, let's just see. Immediately transform this guy to another card draw guy. Just keep drawing spells, then we probably lose. There's a land. Have like a big guy, we also might lose. 6/5. 6 mana, 6/5 trample. This moth is very annoying. So another land. Just typical magic. Yeah, this is not terrible. Find our Ganjo. This is our enchantment for the Naomi ability. And you can't attack currently, because they just have too much value. Let's wait for 1 turn and see what happens. We have a ton of removal spells in our deck, so we shouldn't have a big problem here. And this Moth is just the only thing that's really killing us. And the 6/5 of course is very annoying as well. Another land. Seriously. 8, 9, 10 again. Half of our cards drawn were lands. And yeah, just pass the turn. Nothing we can do. We have a spell in hand. Maybe this ability just is active. So many removal spells for this guy. At least 4 are left in our deck. Draw any of them. We are in a very good spot. Well, it's actually not terrible as well. Let's go here and put a counter on our Naomi. And attack here with our Naomi. We just get this token going, the samurai token going. Probably want to block with the 6-5 and just trade, which is fine, or they just sacrifice their fragment, also fine. And yeah, oftentimes these random flyers just decide the game. Board stall, nobody can really break through. And this happens more often than you think, it's just a random flyer. Stood there and have no counter play for. Just through lands, not for actual spells. But it's fine, 6 wins is way more than I expected for this deck. I was probably go 2 to 3 wins. 6 wins is very good here. Like another defender reach guy, doesn't really matter. And another 4-4 flying this time. Yeah, just like no lands drawn ever. They are 19 cards deep and just drew 4 less lands, so they have 4 more cards in hand. And hey, wait a second. Jansu, maybe. I think I want to piece together a bigger tech here. Let's go for it. 3, 1, 1. I'm just going to go in. I have to do damage. They can value block one of my guys, but we have to just do something. Can't just sit around and do nothing. Otherwise we will inevitably lose. We have to find some way of doing stuff here. Okay. Do the value blocks. Now they get to, with a rare card, return any card from their graveyard. I don't really see how we can win against this kind of stuff. 7 lands versus 11, am I right? And all of these errors and card advantage. Get back the fall of Conda with the other guy dying. We have to jump block with our one flyer. Exile our Naomi. Do this a little bit early. We could have like jump block or blocked over and over or tapped over and over. Oh, I just conceded. Oops. Right. No, it's fine. We wouldn't have won this game anyways. There's no card that we could actually draw on. That's decent here. So yeah, fine. Fine draft overall. It's way better than expected. And I don't know if you can still look at the deck or if it's just gone forever. Let's find out together before we end in this recording. Can still look at it. Nice, let's do a little bit of an analysis. This guy was a fine filler guy. Include our vehicles, more Rider Patrol. Pretty decent as well. A little bit expensive for my taste. The Ganshu Exemplar, also a little bit filler, but could be pressuring. Dimension was good. Removal. Validation Slash was a little bit more situational than I thought. Didn't always give me a Samurai. Decoy I just drew once. Back on a Bankbuster. Pretty insane. Like the value is just so much. And then just is a 4-4 for 2 mana. Kitsune also drew just once. Arrest was fine removal. Fall of Conda was really amazing. Just dealing with those bombs and then giving a value afterwards. I think this is one of the strongest white cards. Touch is also very good, very flexible. O-Ring with an extra effect. All Ninja gives you decent card advantage as well. Chainwheel Centipede. Really surprising how good this is. Can you pass it around? You give extra attack to creatures. Root Suit was fine. Limited Mentor was also fine, not amazing. Ambusher was decent, this was really an Ambusher deck. Samurai was decent, always a flexible card. Naomi was quite good, liked her, just making a random 2/2s. We will cast this once with our tap land. Overall, a pretty weak deck, I would say, very fillerish, with like 2 good cards. In general, you can see how good a curve deck can do in any game. Just have your 2-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. And then some removal spells. This is usually a very good recipe for a deck. And you like save this somehow? Not. And yeah, this is it. 6 wins gives you 1800, so you get 300 extra and 5 Kamigawa Neo Dynasty picks. And also open up together and just see what we got here. Very close last game, and we open a Lion Sash. Exile target card from a graveyard, so we basically eat cards from a graveyard and then equip this to something and it gets +1/+1. Interesting. Then we open a 3-mana exile target creature, so just a 3-mana Fallen Comet, and you have an artifact and enchantment. Get to just return a creature to your graveyard to your hand. Very good card. And Seju, this is like a land. You can discard it to destroy an artifact, enchantment, a non-basic land. It's also pretty good. Just a land with a spell effect attached to it. And a wild card, so you have the same wild cards, but you get them much more rarely. Only have some banked up, but this is a cool card. Opponent, like this makes red tokens for your opponent, and then the Veil makes the reds come to your side again. Really cool card. And last one is the open 6 packs. You get like these extra cards. Random green guy, which I don't want to read because it's pretty long. So yeah, this has been my video on Magic Arena. Tell me if you enjoyed it, watched it this far, and if you maybe yourself switch Magic Arena, then check out. This was educational. If this was helpful for you, then we can continue doing it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Goodbye.